Welcome to another episode of Speaking with the Senator. I'm Senator Kevin Avard. I represent District 12 here in New Hampshire. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about probably Bitcoin or things of that nature, digital currency. And with that, I have a special guest. He's been on the show before, Representative Keith Ammon, and he's kind of I wouldn't say an expert, but you know a little bit about this. So welcome to the show, Representative.
Thank you. Nice to be with you, Senator.
Appreciate you having, hey, we're both wearing blue. That's nice.
Didn't even coordinate. So I didn't know this commercial park, industrial park existed before, and probably most people don't, but it looks like it would be a great place for a data center. So I just want to put that out there. That I think you put one in here, no one would even know it was here.
All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about data centers just for a quick second. So I've done a couple of energy summits. You know, one that was in D.C., one I think was out in Utah, and another one out in Louisiana or Alabama, one or the other. Anyway, in the energy summit, we were talking about these data centers, and everybody's clamoring to get them. And, well, what's the big deal? They use up a ton of energy. That's right. But they also, if you bring in, say, your micronuclear, or if you have a regional gas supply, if you have a pipeline,
right.
They can run extremely efficient, very quietly, and they generate a huge ton of revenue for your local tax base.
Right.
Everybody's worried about, you know, where are we going to get more revenue? Where are we going to get more revenue? And I look around the state and I see these, especially in Nashville. I don't know if you've seen all these complexes going up more and more. So people think, wow, you got more buildings going up, you're going to get more revenue. Not necessarily. You're going to have more services. You're going to need more schooling. You're going to need more fire.
Infrastructure.
And a host of other things to supply services for these. So where are you going to get the revenue? Do you want an income tax? Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. Do you want to raise fees? No. So how are you going to?
It's so I was trolling a little bit when we first started the show.
Yeah.
I had that premeditated. I was going to spring that on you.
That's fine.
Just to like stir it up a little bit. There's a lot of like hysteria, anti-data center hysteria.
Yeah.
And it's well, I mean, we've seen this pattern before with you know, nuclear and you know all the things that come along that are big changes in society. People fear them, right?
Especially in New Hampshire.
Yeah, for some reason. But for all the reasons that you mentioned, it should be something that the state's looking into. And when you match it up with small modular reactors, and you can do it off grid because our law allows that, the tax revenue, the jobs, people say there's no jobs. It's not just the jobs that are on site, it's the jobs that the data centers make more efficient.
Right.
Right. And the compute, you know, it's called computed intelligence. That's a commodity now, computed intelligence. It's taking a lot of data, making patterns around it, and storing those patterns. And when you use ChatGPT, it's actually going into that stored pattern and bringing out the result.
And who isn't using it?
Everybody's
using it.
Right.
Keith, I wrote a song the other day.
Oh, great.
Yeah, no, I did. It was a gospel song, and I've had it actually for a while. But when I say I wrote it, I put it to there's this little, I guess, it's AI. It's AI, but it's a program. And so I said, well, all right, I'll try it, because I saw somebody else do it. So I put my song to this AI thing. I loved it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I loved it.
It's amazing what it can do.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, so I put it on YouTube. It's called "I Want to Know You," and it's a gospel song, but it was like in seconds.
Awesome. And you can talk to it and make it change, have it make changes,
right?
And get it exactly like you want it, right? Like
there's definitely going to be something that we're going to have to adjust to. I mean, The Matrix. Like, I don't know if you ever watched The Matrix, but you know, that's a reality that's in the back of my mind somehow.
Well, it's not a reality. That was a fiction.
It was a fiction, but there's still some.
We'll rescue you from the pods if you ever get stuck in one.
All right. Yeah. Are you Morpheus, right? But again, it's one of those tools that we're going to be using.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, so will the Soviets, so will China. And we have to be on the cutting edge. And with this not NIMBY thing, not in my backyard.
Or NOPE is not on planet Earth.
Right.
There's no nopers out there.
Yeah, but you brought up the micronuclear or the nuclear modulars. One of the nice things about that is whatever they don't use, that can bleed into local distribution,
Yep. Yeah.
and which will lower our cost. Most people don't realize that a big portion of your cost is the transmission lines.
Right.
And that's the big fat power lines that you look at. And that is supplying us from out of state all these other sources. So what we want is local generation, so you can distribute it locally, so you're not paying the big, upkeep on those things.
Right. Right.
So you get a data center in there with a micronuclear, and so that.
Or it could be solar. It could be solar and batteries.
Or gas.
Or gas.
Yeah.
Right? It could be. But the neat thing about data centers is they can ramp up and down and follow the demand. So let's say you have an industrial park that has mixed use, residential, commercial, and so you have manufacturing, like a shopping district, and then residential, all in the same microgrid powered by, let's say, a small modular reactor. Well, people go to sleep, they go to work, the demand changes in that grid.
Right.
And the data center can, because the nuclear power plant wants to run 24/7 full speed, right? It doesn't want to turn up and down. So the data center acts like a sponge in between the fluctuations in demand, and the whole system can operate, beautifully. That's where we're going.
Yeah. Well, we did put in a bill, HB 221, to get some of these micronuclears anyway, get that ball rolling. The governor said she wanted nuclear, and so we put in the bill.
Yeah.
So we'll see
what happened to the bill.
We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. But that being the case, all these new innovations that are coming in, Senator Waters, he's one of our my colleagues on energy. He's on the Democratic side.
Yeah.
He and I work a lot together, and he came up with the idea of the battery storage. So along with that, you can have the battery storage, so whatever you're not using, it goes into the batteries. And so when you have that peak demand, you don't have to turn on those jet engines up north, which is costing us a fortune.
Yeah, I mean, so battery, there's some physical limitations to
Sure.
what batteries can do and how big they have to be and how much they cost. So, and they get full to a certain point, and then you can't charge it anymore.
Right.
And they might have maybe 4 hours of power. There's not a whole lot of, it's not like days of power, it's like a couple hours of power.
Right.
So they're a piece of the puzzle, but they're not the silver bullet.
Right. We're trying to practice what we preach, with all the above, right?
So if I could just go back to computed intelligence.
Yep.
You mentioned about the housing and the infrastructure required. Well, a data center, if it's part of a grid, if it's not sucking up everybody's electricity, but it's incentivizing new generation to be built, the pie gets bigger, right?
Right.
It's a factory for computed intelligence, if it's an AI data center.
Right.
Computed intelligence is an abstract thing, but you have to think about it like a commodity. And most factories do have infrastructure needs. They have train tracks that need to go near it. They have trucks going in and out, employees going in and out, all that work in the manufacturing business. An AI data center has a lot smaller infrastructure footprint. There's no trucks going in and out. There's some employees going in and out. Many work remotely. But it's paying, as you mentioned, property taxes.
Yeah.
It's paying business state taxes. It's kind of like the ideal second half to the nuclear equation. If you put those two things together, the generator is also paying taxes, right? So the whole thing benefits the local community and the state.
Without raising your taxes.
Without raising your taxes. But it's computed intelligence. If people can just get that in their mind, that's the commodity that New Hampshire can produce. And it's the most valuable thing on the planet right now. This is not a joke. And this is accelerating, right? We have 2-year terms, both of us. I've been in for 5 non-consecutive. I think similar for you, right? I try to think out 5 or 10 years. My job isn't to just help manage the state in 2-year cycles.
Right.
I want to see where can we place New Hampshire now that 5 or 10 years out from now, we're in like the head of the pack, right? Because that's how you have to do it. You got to plant the tree today.
Right.
And this is one of those, and you couple it with nuclear, it's like, I wish more people could see the big picture.
The big picture, and really one of the huge benefits is if you can earmark the income that is coming from one of these into tax relief,
Right.
rather than sending it back to the town so the towns can buy more stuff. Send it to reduce their overall property taxes, because that's everybody's aching with that. It's
I live in New Boston, and we don't have a commercial district. We're right next to Bedford, so we're jealous of Bedford. They have a big commercial tax base, and they get to offset their residential property taxes with that tax base. Well, New Boston doesn't. We're not on the way to anywhere, and we have a very small. There's a couple of commercial businesses in town, but if you could have a little microgrid,
5 acres.
yeah, five acres, right, and that could be our commercial district, and our product is computed intelligence, right? And you make sure it obeys all the environmental rules, all the noise regulations. You make sure that it's done in a rational way. But that could be a little commercial district.
It certainly could. It's interesting, Keith.
We have the Space Force right in our town. Like, there's already a big data center.
Right.
There, right?
You just add 5 acres to it or next to it.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw on one of the social medias a picture, anti-data center. And here's this big picture of a big building and a data center, supposedly. And it said, "We're not going to take up this precious space in New Hampshire." Okay. Are you serious? Have you gone to the border and looked at the new Target place here in Nashua?
Yeah, right.
It used to be a beautiful golf course.
Right.
Nobody complained about the Target Center. That place is huge.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen as big a, maybe the one by the airport, Nong Fu owns, but that's tongue in cheek. But
I don't get the joke, but you'll tell me.
Well, Nong Fu owns a building that's thousands of square feet.
Okay.
They bought it for $67 million, 4 times the value.
Oh, right, the water thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, that hasn't gone away. But here's this big, huge building that's taking up space, and of course, it's probably storage for Target. Wonderful, welcome.
Yeah.
It was a golf course. I like playing golf, but that will probably generate a lot of revenue for the area.
Right.
Welcome. We got the Nash Casino. We've got the Gate City Casino that are here. These are places that are growing. We want more industry in New Hampshire. Why? It offsets your local property taxes. Offsets taxes.
Right.
But if you can't think that way, you're just gonna be hitting your head against the wall, saying, "Hey, stop taxing us on the state level." Well, we're not.
Right.
We're holding back.
Right.
It's your locals.
Exactly right.
Let's help you out. But I didn't know that about New Boston. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not really pushing it for just New Boston or anything. I just concepts, right?
Right.
How do we? This is a unique moment in time where all these new inventions are happening, and it's going to accelerate. It's going to get harder to catch up.
Yep.
And how can we place the state now so that we're in the stream? Like we meant to do that, and of course we're out ahead, and we have prosperity for everybody in the state, because an economy lifts. I know people don't want to hear this, but economy lifts everybody. Right? When if the state or the region is more prosperous, then everybody in it is more prosperous.
Right.
So.
Yeah, there's lots of things that we can do, but I think this is one of the reasons I definitely want to join you, because you've been in Bitcoin and things of that nature.
Well, so that's how I got pulled into the whole data center conversation, because Bitcoin is manufactured in data centers.
Yeah.
And for some of it. Yeah.
I think we were talking a few days ago, and you were saying people look at Bitcoin and say, "Oh, I got Bitcoin. Okay, now what?"
Yeah.
But you're saying that there's ways that you can actually go to the store and say, I want to pay with my Bitcoin.
Yeah, so you've probably heard of Stripe. That's a payment company, or Cash App. So about 20% of the point of sale systems where you go in stores and restaurants around, about 20%, 1 in 5 are Stripe.
So you can use as a bank account. Just buy a little Bitcoin and go there. And
yeah, I mean, you have to. Bitcoin forces you to think in a longer time scale. Like, I think Americans were used to thinking like in quarters or terms, 2-year terms. But Bitcoin forces you to think in a longer time scale. So people complain that the price goes up and down. Well, I would say you're too kind of narrowly focused on a certain time frame. You got to like zoom out a little bit, right?
Yep.
So if you do that, then people realize, you can use that as a savings instrument, because there's only 21 million. There's a limited number that are ever going to be created. You'd have to break the laws of mathematics and physics to break that number.
Interesting.
And so if you start thinking about that, then people use it as a savings instrument. And if you want to spend it, so the Stripe terminals, they turned it on for everybody. That now there's an option to pay in Bitcoin when you go to Stripe. And how you do it is you have an app on your phone.
Right.
They show you a QR code and you just zap it and push a button and it instantly goes. It's using something called the Lightning Network, which is Bitcoin's slow and methodical and secure. The Lightning Network sits on top of Bitcoin and it's instant and it's global and it's like another internet on top of Bitcoin. And that's what they're using.
Can it be hacked?
What do you think?
Never say never, right?
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I would assume anything can be hacked.
So it's been running for 16 years. It has like a $1.5 trillion market cap. So it's the biggest honeypot on the internet for someone to hack it. Because once you can hack it, then you can steal people's Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. The network has never been hacked in 16 years.
Really?
And all the code is open source. Everybody can read the code to try to figure out how to hack it. So for 16 years, the protocol itself has not been hacked.
So quantum
quantum is the next thing, but
Yeah.
there's solutions for that too. That's another, people are all getting ginned up about some fear. That's another one, but.
Yeah. No, I watched The Matrix and, I see these social media things where China's making these robots, army robots and whatnot. That's kind of scary. And the drone situation, right? And you ever seen a drone fireworks?
What if they were all weaponized and they all came down, right?
Yeah.
So this is why we need to have compute in New Hampshire that we control.
National security.
Well, for state security, we're going to depend on Texas or Indiana if we don't.
Right.
We need to take New Hampshire values and put it towards the compute that exists in our state, and that way we don't have to worry about Skynet. Right? We have our own way to counteract that.
Yeah, you say Skynet, and that's interesting because I've been following what's going on in Iran, and of course they don't have the internet out there, except there are a few people that go to Skynet. And
Starlink is your.
Or Starlink.
Yeah, Skynet is the science fiction movie about.
Starlink. You're right.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because they have to rely specifically on that. Mm-hmm. But as far as part of our security, that you're right, it would be another element to it.
We want
and
we want
protecting
it in
our grid as well.
And we want it enforcing our Constitution. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah.
So a couple of minutes left. We finished yesterday with, I think we did a lot of committee conferences and stuff like that. Do you see any successes that happened in the House, that the House and the Senate?
We're doing a lot of parental rights and school choice,
Yeah.
and that seems to be, it's on the fast track in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I feel really proud of that because I ran on that stuff 12 years ago, and now it's all happening, right? So it's fun to be a politician and stick to what you said you were going to do.
There's this narrative that the other side of the aisle is trying to point out that there's no porn in the schools, and we had Representative Cordelli at one point trying to read.
He was reading books on the House floor a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and they said, well, we never shut them down, but I believe they walked out.
A lot of them walked out. On the Democrat side.
Right, because it was offensive.
Right.
But it's okay to be in the school libraries, and we're not saying censor. We're saying we're saying, look, parents should have a right to know what's in there, and if there's a protest, then there's a mechanism.
So parents are compelled to send their kids to school, and then they're in an environment I know people say it might be lowest common denominator, but it's a school, it's a government institution. Mm-hmm. And if some parents feel that they're sending their kid into an environment that is going to undermine their household values, they should have some say into what materials.
And a process.
So
they're not being shut down. Right.
Yeah.
If you can look nationally where parents have stood up and tried to speak out, and they're just gavelled down, after a couple of seconds, because it does, the Board of Selectmen or Board of Education or school board shut them down because they didn't want to hear it.
Right.
But it takes courage for people to step up to the plate, and I think some of the legislation that you're sponsoring or you support encourages that and supports their ability to do so.
I agree. I think it's important to sort of. We have to be we're the lightning rods anyway. People yell at us all the time for stuff because we're public figures. But a private person might not want to get up and stand up at a school board and take that, the peer pressure. So that's our job, right? We have to push forward and represent those people.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're proud to do that. These are important things. Listen, you're going to be running again?
To be determined.
To be determined.
Yeah.
Well, if people want to contact you, you're okay with them contacting you?
Yeah. What's the best way? I have a link tree. It's hard to say that. So linktree.com/Keith-Ammon, I think it is. It has all my contact info.
All right, say that one more time slowly.
Yeah. Linktree.com/Keith-Ammon.
Perfect. Yeah, well, I appreciate all your service and everything that you do, and for coming on the show and taking time. I know it's a little drive to get here, especially at this time of day. There's a lot of traffic. It's Memorial
we're taking
weekend.
back roads back, I think. Yeah,
we know those roads, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So thanks for coming on the show, and thank you for watching Speaking with the Senator. As you can see, there's no script. It's just a conversation. And if you like the show, I'd appreciate it if you hit subscribe and like. And if you don't like the show, please hit subscribe and like. Until next week, thanks a lot.